Does Deviljho eat its own tail? Now, this is a question I've seen floating around Twitter for the past couple of days, and also a question I never thought I would ask myself personally, because in my own head, yeah, of course, right? Like, that's a gameplay mechanic. Or is it? Whether this is an actual gameplay mechanic or some sort of Mandela effect, I thought it would be fun to document my experience searching for this elusive clip of Deviljho eating its own tail. This was my personal experience, so come with me on this journey I had. The journey to find Deviljho's lost tail. I always just assumed this was like a Monster Hunter World thing, you know? So I thought, yeah, this should be easy. I'll just find some footage of Deviljho eating its own tail in Monster Hunter World. So I started digging and digging and digging, and I couldn't find a clip of Deviljho eating its tail in Monster Hunter World. So I was like, man, what? I could have sworn it happened in Monster Hunter World. Am I like confusing it with something else? So I thought, wasn't there like an animation or something? Yeah, there was an animation of Deviljho eating his tail in Monster Hunter World. And right away, I knew what animation I was thinking about. The Monster Hunter World Something About. So I went to work and I watched every single Something About series video pertaining to Monster Hunter. Not a single one of those videos had anything to do with Deviljho eating its own tail. At this point, I was stumped. So I just Googled it. Does Deviljho eat its own tail? First thing that pops up, a Twitter thread from Band Legiocris, basically saying that Deviljho is super carnivorous, even to the point that it'll eat other Deviljhos and its own tail. But this pertains to lore. So I was thinking, does this happen in-game? So I did some more Googling. Obviously, if this happened in-game, someone would have a clip somewhere, or at least a GameFAQs article would be talking about it, right? But Google Trends, no matter how many ways I tried to word the question, I couldn't find anything about Deviljho eating his own tail. However, I did find a GameFAQs article. This is where things get a little interesting. So this is a GameFAQs article from like 12 years ago, and the question's pretty blunt. Is it true Deviljho will eat its own tail? Now, there are quite a few responses in here. I'll leave a link to this article in the description, but there are a few interesting ones. So this guy says, yes, Zhou can eat his own tail. I've seen Zhou eat a falling Giganox before. The Giganox was dead, and we carved it. He knocked us out of the way with his chin and just started eating it. However, there is a chance that if you put a tranked meat in its tail, he really isn't eating his tail. He's eating the meat. And since it's in the tail, it looks like it. So very interesting wording. And this is probably the most interesting thing. If you put tainted meat in his tail, I think I said trank meat, but tainted meat, sorry about that. If you put a tainted meat in his tail. Now this was the first reference of putting like a tainted meat in his tail to make it, I guess, look like he's eating his tail that I saw until I realized I hadn't read all of this. And quite a few people were talking about this whole putting meat in his tail to make it look like he's eating his tail. But this person says, though, even without meat, yes, if hungry, he does have a chance to walk over to his tail and eat it. I don't know. This seems pretty suspicious just right off the bat. This one's probably my favorite comment of all of them. I've seen Zhou eat a pico that was just capped. I'm thinking Quirapeko is what he's trying to say, but I feel sorry for the poor bird with green guts gushing out while he's being eaten alive. Yes, I'm pretty sure you saw green guts gushing out in Monster Hunter Tri. So here's another really interesting one. I've seen him eat his tail. As far as I can tell, the order he picks food in is dead/capped monsters, meat, and then tail. Never seen him go for his tail while there's meat on the ground, and never seen him touch meat when there's a dead monster. Here's another response. I swear I saw Zhou about to eat his tail before someone flashed him. Look sideways face emoji. Here's a response that will come to haunt me later. In one Japanese event quest, there are two Zhous, and one will potentially eat the other one. So I didn't really think too hard about this response until later, but at this point, I said to myself, if there is footage of Deviljho eating its tail in Monster Hunter Tri, it has to be out there on YouTube. I went to YouTube. Oh boy, let me tell you, I forgot 240p was a thing. Bro, I was squinting my eyes so hard. I probably watched every Monster Hunter Tri Deviljho video from like 2010 upward that I could like get my hands on. fast forwarding, rewinding, seeing, does Deviljho actually eat his tail? In a few cases, it actually looked pretty close. So like in this one video right here, I'm watching it, it's you know, super grainy. I'm squinting my eye, and then all of a sudden, they do it. They cut off the tail. There it is. Deviljho, he's getting really close to the tail. Will he eat it? Oh, it looks like... No. No, he's not eating it. This freaking sucks. So, I'm watching 240p, 360p Monster Hunter Try videos from a bazillion years ago when I remembered something. There was most definitely an animation of Deviljho eating his tail, and I found it. I can't believe I got these two animators confused, but it wasn't the Something About series. It was NCH Productions, one of the biggest Monster Hunter animators on YouTube. I totally forgot about this guy, and I totally forgot about this video. But in this video, you can clearly see old school Deviljho eating its own tail. I was right, there was an animation that showed Deviljho eating its tail. And not only Deviljho, but old school Deviljho eating its tail. So I knew I was on the right track. If there's a chance that Deviljho eats its own tail, it's gonna be in Monster Hunter Try. I'm convinced. But what am I supposed to do? I've watched every Deviljho video that I could find on Monster Hunter Try. And then I remembered something from a few minutes ago. In one Japanese event quest, there are two Zhos, and one will potentially eat the other one. So I was thinking about that, right? I looked for the Japanese event quest of two Deviljhos. Again, nothing, even in this Japanese event quest. But that's when it hit me, event quest. Holy shit. Let me take a break for a second. If you're watching this video, you have to let me know in the comments, did you play Monster Hunter Try back when it was online? Because if you did, you probably remember the World Eater Deviljho. This is it, the World Eater Deviljho. The World Eater Deviljho was an event Deviljho that was freaking gigantic. It was the biggest Deviljho you could possibly fight. And it was the World Eater. So if it could eat the world, then surely it could eat its own tail, right? So I'm on the right track. I know for sure if there's any video clip out there of Deviljho eating its own tail, it's gotta be the World Eater Event Quest Deviljho from Monster Hunter Try. It has to be. So, back to squinting my eyes and digging. I went through about a dozen of these fucking old YouTube videos having a nostalgia trip. Look at this. How beautiful this is. This is a guy filming his TV screen playing Monster Hunter Try. And the title is MH Try World Eater Event. Fun run. I love this. And it was at this point where something caught my eye. Billybobjho. Okay, you probably don't know who Billybobjho is, but way back in the era of Monster Hunter Try, Billybobjho was a Monster Hunter Try YouTuber, and I remember watching a ton of this guy's videos. Actually, my buddy Llama used to hunt with this guy and was in one of the Halloween special videos. It was really cool. It was the first time that a friend of mine knew a YouTuber, and it was really exciting for us. I mean, this is old school, man. This is in the era of this is before Arax Gaming, Rage Gaming, Super Rad, what else are the big YouTubers? Rurikon. It was before I knew any of those dudes. It was all just Billybobjho, his whole crew, Shepard. Shepard did a Monster Hunter Try Let's Play that I still fucking adore to this day.
Cha-Cha? He's back! I'm sorry, Cha-Cha. I know. I hit you with those bombs. I'm sorry.
These were the Monster Hunter YouTubers I remember. Oh my god, MuffinGmaing? Holy shit. Nostalgia was washing over me like a drug. I was overjoyed watching these old videos all over again. But I stopped my nostalgia trip, got back to the grind, and pretty soon after having my little detour, I found something really interesting. It was a video from 11 years ago. Monster Hunter 3 Event Quest. Deviljho. Cannibal Zho? Cannibal. Wait, is this it? Could this be it? This has to be it, right? Why would you put cannibal in the title of this video if Deviljho doesn't eat his own tail? I found it, I think. So I squinted my eyes and continued to watch this absolutely gorgeous video. Now, if you didn't notice, the screen is completely slanted to one side. He's recording it on what I'm guessing is a digital camera. There's no real audio and you can barely tell what's going on, but this could be it. This is the video I'm looking for. If we see Deviljho eat its own tail in this video, there's absolutely no way to like stage it, right? This can't be staged. Look at this. Look how he's recording this. This could be it. I could finally have found the footage I'm looking for. I've spent like a day and a half searching for this clip at this point, so I was really excited. And as I'm watching the video, it happens. They cut off the freaking tail. Now it was just time to wait. Wait and see, does Deviljho do it? And then, dude, it happened. I couldn't believe it. I found it right here. Deviljho eating its own tail. This was the proof. This was the proof everyone was looking for. This was it. My journey was over. I could post this video and show everyone I found. At least that's what I would have said if this was real, but even with this shitty video quality, the tail-eating Deviljho can be faked. So it's actually pretty obvious, but I wanted to make this part dramatic in the video. You can see right here, so obvious, that there is a meat underneath the tail. So they're doing the old GameFAQs, you know, trickaroo by putting the meat under the tail. So, yep, this isn't the clip. And I'm not the only one to have noticed this. In the comments, Deadeye John got super excited and said, tail eaten. Now, that was my excitement too. Like me and Deadeye John right here, we totally were on the same page. And then, the Smith. Not a Smith. The Smith. He came to destroy your hopes and dreams. He doesn't care about your feelings. He's gonna tell you how it is. And he basically comments, if you look closely, you can see a piece of meat in the tail. And Deadeye John has the same reaction that I had the first time I watched this, and it was, sadly, I know now. So that's it. This was the closest I got to proving that Deviljho ate its own tail. I'm sorry I can't definitively say if this ever happened in Monster Hunter Tri, but if I had to give an educated guess, I would guess this is some sort of like meme. Like maybe people were putting tranked or drugged meat in Deviljho's tail as some sort of like joke to make it look like Deviljho was eating its own tail. And then with that meme kind of spreading online, NCH Productions made the video of like old school Deviljho eating its tail, you know, the little animation. And then from there, it was just kind of like ingrained in a bunch of our minds. Maybe it never really was a thing. It's possible by the time this video goes up, we'll already have a definitive answer. Maybe someone found a clip online that I missed or was able to reproduce this particular situation. Maybe someone's gonna look inside the code of all the Monster Hunter games to see if Deviljho was ever programmed to eat its own tail. Even though I didn't find this elusive clip or answer this question, I think I found something a little bit more valuable. Throughout digging for this elusive answer, I was reminded of like a simpler time in the Monster Hunter world, when the games weren't as popular and when things were just a little bit slower on the internet. I got whisked back to 2010, 2011, going online and being absolute dog shit at the game, but everyone being very supportive and helping me build new armor sets. In a way, this whole searching for Deviljho eating its own tail thing kind of reminds me of like a story of old. Like we're all hunters sitting around a fire, telling stories, sharing our experiences. You know, Monster Hunter has never had the best story of any game, but I've always been under the impression that the story is the stories we tell each other. Like, the story of Monster Hunter is our story. This whole wholesome adventure really solidified for me how much I love the franchise, how much I love the idea of Monster Hunter as not just a game, but as a concept. I really do think video games are art, and if that's the case, I think Monster Hunter is one of my favorite pieces of art. You know, there's really not much more I can say. So I think I'm just going to leave you with this last clip. This is probably one of my favorite clips in all of YouTube. It's super nostalgic, and it's one of the reasons why I even started making videos all those years ago. So I'll just leave you with this last story of old. And until next time, goodbye.
It's okay, roll with it.
Hi, I'm Lava, and I'm a luchador.
I'm X, and I will be a doctor.
Yay, and I'm a member of the Matrix. Yes, Matrix. Okay. X just gave my screen pills. Thank you, X. It was sick. Let it begin.
Alright, we're doing double trouble now, aren't we?
Double trouble?
Okay.
Yes, indeed. We are totally winged, and this is probably going to be the first of the Monster Hunter Tri online co-ops, because
This is completely unscripted, and either stupidity or hilarity will occur. One of
I'm
the two.
totally lazy.